What I really want to talk about today is, can we truly blame the West for all the bad things that are going on in Africa, all the poverty in Africa, the maladministration? Can we truly blame the West for all of it? That is the question that I'm asking today. And when we're going to be looking, one of the things we're going to be looking at is, my answer is a very big no. We cannot truly blame the West for all of our problems. Now, we must be very clear that colonialism and neocolonialism is a very huge part of our problem here in Africa, and especially when you have, if we were to unite the entire continent into one army, one currency, of course, we would be at par with the rest of the world in terms of resources, in terms of GDP, in terms of currency strength. We will be strong, and of course, we won't be needing all of these handouts and all of these things. But the question is, if we are to really, really look at these things, can we just say everything is coming from the West? The answer is no. And I'll tell you why the answer is no. The answer is no is simply because we have leaders who have access to the resources of our nations. What do they do with the resources of our nations? Now, I'm speaking of all 54 countries in Africa. What do the leaders of these individual nations, what do they do with those resources? They still go take up loans, and at the end of the day, they mismanage the loans, buy themselves expensive vehicles, and when they buy themselves these expensive vehicles, they live a very expensive lifestyle, take outrageous salaries, send their children to the best schools abroad. So there are now people who are career politicians. And if you want an economy to thrive, politics should be de-incentivized in such a way that there should be more money being in the industry. There should be more money to own a manufacturing plant than to be in a political office. It should be more attractive to be an entrepreneur than to be in the political scene. So, but in Africa, what we are seeing is that it is, by the time you see someone, he's probably struggling, he's not doing well, not all the businesses he has tried to set up, none of them ever, came to light or, did very well. But suddenly he gets an appointment and now he's a big shot. He's driving around in a big car. His children are overseas. So many things are happening in his life. That's public money. These ones are not being sponsored by the neo-colonial and colonial guys. They are not responsible for these. While we are looking at it, let us also, bring some of these things home. We cannot completely say that, America has done this, Britain has done this, France has done this, all of these kind of things. And we are failing to take accountable and look at, ourselves. And you can equally say that, in terms of politics and all these things, maybe the way things happen politically, the Nigerians are not happy with, how things happen in politics, maybe how leaders are chosen, all of these kind of things that go on. Yes. And there is this quote I saw somewhere, I'm not exactly sure who said that thing, but it said that, the people that elect a bad leader are not, they are not victims, they are accomplices. And that is quite true. So if we are to completely look at all of these things, if you as a Nigerian, you as an African, in whatever country you find yourself on the continent or whatever part of the continent you come from, there is a huge part of this that you can actually play, and you would not be contributing to the to the mass decadence that we are seeing in the continent. So I'm not going to completely say that yes, everything is the colonial masters' fault. The colonial masters did this, did that. Yes, their hands are not very, very clean by any stretch of the imaginations. They cannot be exonerated. But in all of it all, our leaders, the political elites, you have about 1,000 people in Nigeria here ruling about 200 million people, and you are seeing a very, very, it's a very unfortunate scene. What we've seen over the past years. We're not talking of the past 2 years of the presidency of President Tinubu. No, we're not talking. We're looking at years and years of misappropriation of funds, years of political elites enriching themselves, enriching their friends. These kind of situations, that's exactly what we're looking at, So we cannot completely blame the West for all our problems. To be honest with you, we cannot completely blame the West. And as far as I'm concerned, all of us, we have a role to play. If we want to see a better continent, we all have a role to play one way or the other. We all have to contribute to it. So, whatever your thoughts are, leave them in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please leave them in the comments. You're going to find this video on Instagram. I think I'm going to, am I posting on Instagram? Maybe I'll just post it on TikTok and YouTube, because, Instagram algorithm has just not been giving me views for the past, and I don't know why that is the case. So I'll just stick with creating TikTok content and YouTube content for now. So, ladies and gentlemen, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.